Hi, I'm Gino. I'm a 25-year-old queer artist from Silay City, Philippines. I work mostly with the visual arts and graphic design. My work consists mainly of a lot of mixing and matching different areas, especially religious imagery, vernacular graphic design, and a lot of images from my local surroundings, from our barangay, from our school. So one of the works that I'm most proud of is a series of banderitas I did for Vinyl and Vinyl, in which I I printed a self-portrait on top of Hiligaynon Bible verses talking about homosexuality and kind of laying my body over those things. So, and I also do a lot of printmaking. So I do silk screen like this dirty bag inspired by the rice sack, the Rosana rice sack. So I do a lot of silk screen printing, a lot of multiples. And then another example of a multiple is the bangus cast I did for an exhibition around a year ago, where I was talking about the current political climate in West Philippine Sea. So I dabble mostly on a lot of autobiographical works, but at the same time, I also do a lot of politically reactionary works, especially with what's happening during our time. During we're still experiencing the pandemic, but during the first initial lockdown, not much has changed in my art practice in the social aspect because, for one, I live in an island apart from the main art scene. So I don't usually miss out on art events because I'm not able to attend them because I'm not from Manila or from Cebu. So in that aspect, the isolation caused by the quarantine isn't as harsh as I thought it would be. But at the same time, because the stores are closed, I wasn't able to prepare a lot of supplies to last me a month or two. So what I had to do was make use of what was available and think economically on how I can use and maximize materials without wasting a lot of resources. So what I did during the lockdown was, with whatever material was available, I would experiment in in new techniques, new modes of presentation, so that I get to learn during that time of isolation. And when I have access to materials in the future, I could apply those learnings. So, for example, the work I'm showing right for figure proof is the result of some painting experiments I did during the lockdown, where I used graphite, sandpaper, and acrylic medium. So if I was not able to experiment during that time, I don't think I would be able to create these works now. So that was the biggest challenge, and that, I think, it's kind of I don't want to call it a blessing. It's the advantage of being isolated is I get to be creative and coming up with new techniques that I can use for the future. So my project for Figure Proof is called Telegram Dreams, and it's a series of drawings and paintings based on online conversations in messaging apps, especially Telegram. And I decided to employ a lot of surreal or images from the tarot or esoteric images, so that I can try to reflect how these conversations become an escape while going through isolation, quarantine, and this pandemic. So here are a few of the original sketches for the series. This one is called the Ten of Swords and the Ace of Pentacles, parenthesis, Frog Prince. This one is inspired, and this is the painting. This is inspired by, I think, a tweet of mine recalling past encounters with other people. So there was a time that I felt like I was a science lab experiment. So after seeing that tweet, this image of myself inside a dissected frog came to me. And at the same time, I realized that the frog as an image was appropriate for how I was feeling, because I was going through cycles of my life, or I was going through a metamorphosis. So that's why I think this one is really a personal one. And then you have the initial sketches of the sun and the moon. Here they are. This is the sun, and as you can see, I've employed gold paint so that there's a certain sheen, and I think I couldn't I couldn't achieve as much luminosity if I used regular paint. So this is the sun, and then this is the moon. The moon is a self-portrait, so it's me inside view, and if you can see, and it's also done in gold paint and graphite. So the sun and the moon is one of the major arcanas of the tarot, and I think every one of us are familiar with that. And I really like that in our language, Filipino and Hiligaynon, the sun and the moon, the sun is translated into araw. Araw also means day. In Hiligaynon, adlaw, it also means day. So it refers to both the celestial body and then a unit of time, which is 24 hours. Isang araw, a day. Throughout this quarantine period and the pandemic, I've become apathetic and at the same time hyper aware of time. Apathetic in ways that days melt together. At the same time, hyper aware is because sometimes you sit through days where you see the sun come down and night becomes day. So you become aware of the current time because you're stuck in one place just waiting for time to pass. So I think a lot of things and layers are in the work, and I tend to like a little bit of mystery. I let the viewers or the one who will see the work uncover their own relationships with the symbols, because tarot has been around for a long while, and each culture and each person has their own relative meanings to these tropes, artistic tropes. So to give you an idea, that's what the premise of the project is. At the same time, I don't want to put the meaning like in a box. I think every one of us has their own experience with these images. So that's it.